They say everyone's good at something. Some people paint. Some people run fast. Me? I break into places people swear are unbreakable. I'm not proud of it. I'm not ashamed either. It's just what I do, what I've always done. My name's not important, and neither is my face. I've been a shadow since I was old enough to run with one. But this story isn't about all my jobs. It's about one. The one that made me question everything. It was a quiet Tuesday evening when I got the message. A plain envelope slid under my apartment door. No return address. Inside was a single photo, a security vault door, and a note scrawled in thick ink. One night, no alarms, no second chance. I sat there, staring at it for a long time. Most jobs came from contacts or encrypted calls. This was personal, and I hate personal. But something about it stirred my curiosity. I'd heard rumors about the vault in the picture. Private property, not a bank, not a store, just a room inside a forgotten estate on the edge of the city. People said it belonged to a man who kept secrets, not money. I prepped, like always. Blueprints, satellite maps. I even posed as a delivery guy one afternoon just to see the gates. High-tech sensors, hidden cameras, but no guards. That was odd. The kind of odd that makes my fingers itch, like the place wanted to be robbed. The night came. Moonless. Silent. I wore soft-soled shoes, dark clothes, no weapons. I never carry. My hands are my tools. The estate sat behind towering iron fences, surrounded by forest. I parked half a mile out and walked the rest, breathing slow, steady. I reached the side entrance just after midnight, disabled the power with a pulse jammer, bypassed the door lock in under a minute, and stepped into a house that smelled like dust and forgotten time. It was too quiet. Even the floorboards didn't creak. I made my way down to the lower level. The vault room sat at the end of a marble hallway, lit by flickering wall sconces. No cameras, no alarms, just that same door from the photo. I pulled out my tools and got to work. The lock was antique, handcrafted, delicate. It took 17 minutes, longer than I liked. When it finally clicked, I held my breath and pushed the door open slowly. What I saw inside wasn't cash, wasn't gold. It was something else, entirely. I stepped inside the vault, expecting the usual rows of safety boxes, documents, maybe rare coins or hidden jewels. But there were no shelves, no cash stacks, no glittering temptations. Just a room, cold and silent, with a single wooden table at the center. On it lay an old black briefcase and a faded leather-bound journal. Something in my chest tightened. I'd broken into places guarded by lasers and men with rifles. But this felt wrong in a different way, like I wasn't stealing, like I was being watched. I moved cautiously to the table. The journal looked ancient, the pages yellowed and fragile. I flipped through it. Pages filled with notes, names, dates, locations. It read like a ledger, but not one for money. These were people, powerful people, politicians, judges, CEOs, some crossed out in red ink, some marked with symbols I didn't recognize. Then I opened the briefcase. It wasn't money inside, it was blackmail, photos, recordings, documents with seals and signatures that could ruin careers and start wars. I wasn't just standing in a vault. I was standing inside someone's insurance policy. Or their doomsday switch. I should have left. Closed the case, walked away, and disappeared. That's what I'd always done. But I didn't. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was pride. Maybe I just wanted to know who this ghost was. The one who had gathered so much power and then left it in a room with no locks worth a name. Then the lights flickered. I froze. A soft beep echoed from the wall behind me. I turned too late. The door was closing, automatically, smooth, silent, final. I dashed forward, but it was already shut. No keypad, no handle, just cold steel. I wasn't locked in a vault. I was trapped in someone's game, and that's when I heard the speaker crackle. "You've come far, Ghost," a voice said, calm, measured. Like he was expecting me, I backed away from the vault door, heart pounding. The voice had no accent, no emotion, just cold interest. "You don't know me," I said, scanning the walls for any cameras. "But you clearly know me." "Oh, I know you well," the voice replied. "Every job you've done, every bypassed alarm, every time you thought you were invisible. Then why leave the door open? Why bait me here?" A pause. Then, "Because I needed to know what kind of man you really are." I laughed, once sharp and dry. "You could have just asked." "I don't trust answers, only actions." The room dimmed slightly. A projector came to life, casting an image on the far wall. Footage of me, breaking into places. Some I remembered, others I didn't. They had been buried in the past. Deleted, forgotten. "How did you get these? I have eyes in places you don't believe exist. You're blackmailing me? I'm offering you a choice." That made me stop. I crossed my arms, glaring at the wall. "Go on." The voice grew quieter, almost thoughtful. "The people in that journal, the ones you read about, aren't innocent. They've stolen more than you ever will. Lives, futures, freedoms. They've hurt people, covered their tracks, and walked free. So, I want to tip the scale." The projector clicked off. Silence again. "You're not a thief," the voice said. "You're a scalpel. Precise, sharp, useful." "I'm not working for anyone." "You already are," the voice replied. "You just haven't admitted it yet." The vault door hissed. Slowly, it opened. I stood there for a moment, unsure what to do. Then I stepped out. At the end of the hallway, a small package lay on the floor. Inside was a burner phone, a list of names, and the first address. No threats, no orders, just an invitation. And I wasn't sure if I should run or follow it. The package felt heavier than it looked, like the weight of what it meant pressed into my hands. A list of names, a burner phone, and the first address. I could have thrown it all away right there. Walked out, vanished like I always had. That's what I did best. But something stopped me. I read through the list again. One name caught my eye, a man I remembered seeing on the news 2 years back, celebrating some corporate deal that made thousands jobless overnight. I'd stolen from people like him before, but I'd never thought of it as justice. Just business. This felt different. I didn't call anyone, didn't tell a soul. I spent the next week watching that address, studying movements, checking every window, every pattern. He was careful private cars, fake plates, high fences, but not careful enough. When I finally went in, I didn't take money. I took documents, evidence, proof of what he'd done, offshore accounts, payoffs, hidden reports. I left the place untouched, except for one thing, a copy of his own files sitting neatly on his desk, with a note stapled on top. Now the world knows. By morning, the media had the story. Anonymous leaks, legal chaos. The man's empire collapsed in 48 hours. And just like that, the first name on the list was gone. The phone buzzed later that night. A single message. "You did well. Ready for the next?" I didn't reply, but I didn't turn the phone off either. Over the months that followed, I became something I never expected. A thief, still. Yes, but not for riches, not for ego, for balance. Every job was surgical, clean. Not a single trace, not a single word spoken. I never met the voice behind the vault again. But the assignments kept coming, and part of me started to believe that maybe I was rewriting the rules in my own way, stealing from the corrupt, uncovering the buried. People started whispering about me, not as a criminal, not even as a hero, just a mystery, a ghost, the one who stole secrets instead of silver, who left behind truth instead of empty safes. But I never forgot that night, that vault, that voice. And sometimes I still wonder, who was really using who? Maybe I was just another piece in someone else's game, but I made my move. And now, the board belongs to me.